Welcome to today's Seirokan Saturday. Next technique in Pinyan Yondan. Before we get the actual technique, there's some concepts and principles that we need to adjust. And we just did this, so it should be fresh on your head. When dealing with a knife, okay, a knife fighter is different than a fighter with a knife. A knife fighter is skilled with this primarily and has backup weapons. A fighter with a knife is skilled with this, or not skilled necessarily, but just random, and happens to have a knife. So there are different levels. This is not about a whole knife fighting philosophy. This is just to learn a technique from Pinyan Yondan Kata. In doing the technique, one of the most common attacks is what we'll call the prison shank, which is just repeated stabs to the gut. And they're going to come powerfully because he wants to penetrate me, boom, drive that in. And we're going to be moving, and there's ugly stuff going on. There are a lot of clinics and seminars that teach different knife fighting tactics and techniques and so forth, but typically they start with the overriding tactic and not so much dealing with techniques. Our goal today is to learn something from Pinyan Yondan, but in order to make that work, we take the pretty technique and we have to at some point ingrain all of the ugliness that precipitates and surrounds that technique. So if he's doing that kind of prison shanking, I'm just trying to stop it, right? And he may change angles at some point, and my goal is don't let this enter my body. I'm going to get cut. I may get a cut on the arm, but I'm going to keep my inner arm in so it's not going to hit brachial artery. I'm going to try and protect center so he's not getting too much vital organs. If he gets a little bit of my fudge on the side, I'm going to try and stop it so that if it comes a little, I only catch an inch and not the full length of the shank. But the most important thing I can do, and this is in all tactics, I don't care whose knife fighting course you go to, the first most important thing I have to do is control this. Now, a lot of techniques will teach you to grab the knife. If I grab and stand here with both hands on this, you're probably going to punch me in the head or do some other damage. So once I grab or get a hold, however I manage, whether I get in here wrestling style control, whether I get in here hand control, whether I karate cross block, I don't care what the tactic is, he's going to keep stabbing, and I may have to block 45 times in practice doing it before I can get to where I want to be. Once I practice doing that, then as the stabbing is happening, I want to practice simultaneously other stuff. I still have to be, he's still going to be doing all this, so I still have to be worried about this, right? And if I can get this hard, maybe it affects him. Maybe a crazed guy, he feels it, but a crazed guy's not going to feel that. So I want to hit at the same time, control, and then move. So all of those peripheral things, yes, that's not what I'm here to address today. We want to look at the technique that happens once we've established that control position after the random ugliness begins, okay? In chess, in wrestling, we called it chain wrestling. I want to be one move ahead. In chess, I want to be 5, 10 whole boards worth of moves ahead. In chess, I want to have what's called positional recognition. I want to have memorized, Bobby Fischer's games and Boris Spassky's games and all the great masters, and I want to have hundreds of full games memorized in my head so that when a position on the board occurs, I have what's called positional recognition. I go, oh, I've been here before. Wrestling, the same thing. We're pummeling around, we're on the ground rolling, and I get somewhere and I go, oh, I know what to do from here because I practiced this position. So the goal with our Pinyan Yondan Bunkai is to recognize the position. In order to do that, I have to have the technique. So that's how we're addressing this first. So he's going to come in with his shank stabbing knife. Hey, I'm going to move my body offline. Here again is my cat stance, okay? This is full body movement where I can come in, control, and do other stuff. That's not what we're doing today. I'm moving my body offline. I'm maintaining a cat stance. Cat stance also implies that I can do this. And that's where I get my hand control. Now, I don't get it and stop. I'm going to immediately turn here. So again, taking all that ugliness that surrounds, I'm doing the dodge, control, kick all at once. We'll add the ugliness later. From here, I pin this to my side with the knife out this way. That's what this rolling here is for. A, it's so that I don't just catch and stop, where he's going to come in, grab me, try and keep stabbing. I make my move immediately to get that turned. Pin it. Then I have my strike and kick. Ideally from here, I'm going to come down, and this is, again, all the comments, oh, you'll never make that work. This is in an ideal world, in my unicorn world, I'm getting my thumb on the hilt, I'm peeling down, because I've already hit him. This to the temple, side of the neck, those kinds of things, they do tend to loosen the grip, not to mention the turning of the wrist, right? If I did this, is your grip going to be a little looser? Mm-hmm. Okay. If I did that, he's not going to worry about his grip too much once I've done this, which is the kata. Again, we've done all the pummeling, blocking, shanking, whatever. I get to this position, I roll it, back fist and kick him. That's going to make this easier. It may or may not work, okay? If it doesn't, okay. But I'm going to peel this out, and if I can catch it, I can catch it. If I can throw it away, I throw it away. Then we do our elbow strike. Oh no, look, elbow strike. Okay? So the whole technique in pretty kata form, hey, in, twist, back fist kick, peel, cut, or peel, elbow. Now in the kata, we do the elbow once. In the random, non-pretty, ugly fighting version, how many times am I going to elbow him? Depends on how long he stays standing up or fighting back. I'm going to keep going in a real fight. So don't confuse just random stuff. Don't confuse this part with stab, the pretty kata part. The pretty kata part gives us positional recognition. Now, what if I don't get this twist here? I still have this, okay? But again, that relies on me catching the knife. Now I can come down here, boom. Now again, I'm into the technique, and I'm doing my kata. Okay? Let's go to the other side, just for the sake of the technique. And again, ugly, 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 control, stop him however I can. Oh, positional recognition. Now I'm there. Okay, so the technique, hey, cat, move your hips and waist, guide across, turning right away. Again, I don't stop here because other stuff's coming. I get here right away, control. Stop him from coming in, stop him thinking about the knife. Peel the knife out, wrap, maybe, or peel the knife out. Strike. Pinyan Yondan in pretty form with the ugly trappings around it. Hopefully that's of some use to you. We'll deal with, as we get into the black belt level, we'll start talking more about the ugly peripherals involved in public violence, real fighting. I hate fighting, real self-defense scenarios. In a fight, I have to win. In self-defense, I just have to survive and go away. We'll deal with some of the ugly peripherals. Right now, prettiness of kata, learn the technique, so that when that position arises, I have my positional recognition. Thanks for joining. Hopefully that was useful. And until next week, as always, let's keep practicing.